Hello and welcome to Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. I'm your host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Good morning, everybody. It's good to be here today. Good morning, Coach. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Thank you. How about you?
I'm here.
Making
I'm
it?
absolutely here. Yep, I'm present and accounted for.
Yes.
And your internet is present and accounted for. We're thankful for that this morning.
Crossing our fingers.
Oh my, it's been a ride for these new podcast shows that we've been doing. It's been quite the ride to make sure we have internet signals. So
Yeah.
we're thankful for that this morning, and we just want to say welcome to everybody. We have a really intense, needed show today.
Yes.
And in fact, as you will listen throughout the show, you'll understand kind of the why. Coach Darcy messaged me this morning and said, "Hey, Coach, are you okay doing the show today?" And part of me was like, "Hey, can you take this for me with what we're walking through, kind of a dark season of our life?" And then the other side of me said, "Monica, you preach authenticity. You preach being a real coach. Why would you skip out today?" So forgive me if it's kind of an emotional show today, but it's needed because we teach what we live. And so if we expect our clients to come through some dark seasons with their health style fully intact, then I'm expected to do the same thing. So and my coach here will catch me if I fall. I've taught her the art of spin, right?
Yes, I will do my best.
So yeah, welcome to the show today. We're going to talk about a subject that is near and dear to our hearts, and it's what to do when life gives you a curveball. A lot of clients, a lot of people in general just seem to think that as they go through these seasons, and it's not a matter of if you go through a season, it's a matter of when you go through a season, that we just get to set our health style aside and feed our emotions and feed and go off plan. And a lot of times people think, well, that's an excuse. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about how we make it through these seasons of our life and with our health style intact. Because sometimes when clients think that they can go off plan during these times, they never come back. And it's harder to come back from a lifestyle that you're trying to get healthy and lose weight and reverse all of these diseases. It's harder to come back when you fall off. And so the point is, how do you not fall off during these seasons? So just so you know, today it's a hard day. It's a hard day for our family. You all probably have met Glock because he's been a picture in the back of my video camera for 9 years. And it's been a hard season because we're losing him today. And so wasn't expecting that.
It always happens now. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Let it out.
Yeah. So we found out 2 weeks ago that Glock has bone cancer, and the vet sent us home and said, go give him the best days of his life. And we don't do table scraps at our house, but we've done table scraps for the last 2 weeks. And so last night, and Brian and I have had to make the call of, because he's a Great Dane, because he's 150 pounds, he can't go down. Like we won't be able to put him in the car if he goes down. And so we have to time this thing. Like when do we make that call? And I don't know. I'm second guessing myself today. I'm second guessing everything. I don't know when it is time to make that call. But last night he couldn't get up, and he's not eating and he's not drinking. He'll eat out of our hands. I just kind of looked at his eyes this morning, and asked him, tell me when it's time. So we have a temporary appointment at 3:30 today. So if you could keep us in your prayers, I would appreciate that. But it's hard. It is so hard when life throws you curveballs and you are trying to live a lifestyle. You're trying to get healthy. You're trying to lose weight. You're trying to do all of the things. And then life seems to fall apart. And so we're going to talk about that today. Coaches, do you go off plan when these seasons hit? And so we're going to be raw and we're going to be candid with you today. And hopefully we'll turn this show into a podcast because we believe that it is so important to talk about. And so if we don't talk to the audience as much today, that is why, but we're going to be watching the comments. We're going to be watching and we will address your questions when we see them come through. So thank you for tuning in. If you feel that this is helping you, will you please share it with your family and friends? And this could be for whatever lifestyle you're living. We happen to teach the ketogenic lifestyle because we want to reverse the diseases of human civilization. We believe in that very, very strongly. However, you could be living any kind of lifestyle. And the fact of the matter is you have to push through regardless, because when you come back to your lifestyle, it's not going to be the same when you come back. So are you ready, Coach?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
I want to start off the session today by reading from a book. And this is a curriculum that we have adopted in Keto Mom Living, KM Health Coaching. We've adopted this with our clients. It's a very, very good book. It's called The Power to Change by Craig Groeschel. And you probably have seen it. It's an incredibly great read and has nothing to do with weight loss. However, it has everything to do with weight loss. So I wanted to read a portion of this book. And then we're going to break apart and talk about what it means and how we implement this in our own lifestyle. And I'm going to tell you how I'm implementing it right now in my lifestyle through the season that we're walking through. So let me start out by reading you just 2 paragraphs of this book, and then we're going to break it down. So scientists who use cybernetics, and I don't know, I was going to Google this before the show. I don't know what cybernetics is. If you know, drop it in the comments for us, but it sounds very important. But
something with a computer.
Who use cybernetics theory say there are 2 ways that we can try to change. First, there's what they call first order change, and this is called behavioral modification. We commit to starting or stopping a specific action. First order of change can have some instant results, but the change will never last. The second approach, according to the cybernetics theory, is second order of change, which is conceptual. The focus is not on acting different, but on thinking different, especially about yourself. A cybernetics researcher will tell you that the second order of change is the only kind that lasts. That's powerful. To change what you do, you need to first change what you think of you. And as I was thinking about this, there are some things that we give our clients when they come to us. We cannot do this process without the first order of change, which is behavioral modification. That is when our detox comes in. That's when we change those things that we do, okay? We talk a lot about, I compare this to when we say, hey, we need you to go to the robotic mode, right? We need you to go to the robotics of this lifestyle. We need you to do the things even when you think you can't do it. So we always send our clients down the robotic mode. That is so, so important. You have to have behavioral modification if you're going to change. But that will only last temporarily, okay? And so that is when we bring in the second order of change, and that is conceptual. And this, my friend, is where the hard part comes in. This is when the rubber meets the road. You've tried to alter what you do, but you haven't changed who you think of you. That's another quote that Craig gives in this book. And so we have to set up a strategic method. Sometimes when we don't feel like it, I can tell you today, I don't feel like doing this lifestyle. I don't feel like it because my heart is grieving. I'm losing my best friend today at 3:30. I don't feel like doing it. However, because I've changed who I think of me, it's going to happen. I just go into robotic mode. I go into the first order of change. I do the things that I have trained my body to do. But now I have to take it deeper. And this may come a couple of weeks after the grief. This may come at a different point. You may grieve first, and then you have to implement the second order of change. And so, Darce, I want you to kind of take us down the entrance to the second order of change, because there are processes to this. You can't just automatically, I have a bookmark here that I keep my notes on, and I have things written down. You think you are, who you think you are drives your behavior. I need to always see this in front of my mind because I don't always feel that, right?
Yeah, right.
I have a sentence on here. Who do you want to become? Those things can be put into our path that will help us through this, right? But we actually have to do some things. So can you start to take us down the path of that second order, which, is the conceptual, which is the hard work. This is the hard work.
This is the hard work. And I first want to say, with the beginning of this hard work is to acknowledge that it's okay to have these emotions.
Yes.
It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to, dwell in those emotions for a moment. But the difference is of how long you stay there, right? So,
allowing yourself the feelings. A lot of people these days, especially in the therapeutic world, a lot of these people want to hide that and want to mask that. You're not okay feeling these things,
right? But it is okay because those are emotions that are natural, and so whether or not you stay there in that mud, in that anger, in that whatever you're feeling, that is where, you could probably hurt yourself a little bit more or cause more damage. But I first want to say, when we take this to our clients, we ask them, first of all, I want you to step back. I want you to step back from the situation, because at first it's just like when somebody is looking at a painting and they're looking at it straight up. You're not going to see the whole painting. You're just going to see the brush strokes. So taking a step back is going to give you that full picture and to see what's going on. And the second thing I want to say is, before I talk about some top things that we have our clients do in practice, is it's not okay if you have the need to mask it with something. Do not mask your emotions with food, because that is just a Band-Aid. Another one as I was talking about this later or earlier, I was talking about how I have changed my addictions into shopping. Do not go and utilize those addictions that you create to mask the emotions that you're feeling. They are just covering the wound. It's
That's
not
called
healing
addiction.
the wound.
It's called addiction transfer in the food addiction world, and everybody has it. And there is some argument to when to use addiction transfer, right? So depending on your goals, is it okay to transfer your addiction to, say, a less harmful thing? And that's something that's being talked about in this world. But like you said, when you have that first line of defense, that first layer in place where you're going into robotic mode, you're doing the things, sometimes that means, Darcy, that you may have to remove the sugar from the house. If you're going through a dark season, you may have to do, is it in the Jewish culture that they do this thing called the leaven, where they go through the house and they get rid of all of the leaven? And it's the same. The same thing applies here. You may be able to withstand some of these temptations during some of your, during the majority of your life. But when your guard is down and when your feelings are here, you may not. And it may be important for you to go through the house and get rid of all of the stuff that's in the house that may make you, transfer your addiction.
And if you feel like you need to utilize food at that moment, try to make it a healthier choice.
Yes.
That would be the next one. But yes. So we were talking about Band-Aids here.
Yeah.
How Band-Aids are they're not healing the actual, they're just covering the sting, the dirt, the grime that's getting into the wound that could possibly make it worse. So the next thing we do as we say, if you are in this situation where you are in your head and you're overwhelmed and you're angry, or you're having the world just feel like it's collapsing in on you, then to go to somebody who is a good accountability partner,
Mm-hmm.
somebody that you can trust, which trusting, a lot of people don't trust anymore. So somebody that know that you can go to and just be able to vent what's going
Mm-hmm.
on in your head without any sort of judgment attached to it or trying to fix you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that, because in some of these moments, you don't want to be fixed. You just want to get it out of your head.
Mm-hmm.
So finding someone to vent, and we call that accountability. We have a group for our program. We have an amazing group that we have our clients come to
Mm-hmm.
when they are just on the struggle bus and they just need to get it out.
Yeah.
Nobody's there is fixing them. They're just sharing maybe something that
Yeah.
they do that has helped them.
And
So
sometimes, Darcy, this is hard because I don't know how your and I's personalities, we tend to be opposites of each other, but we might match here. I don't know. I tend to be a fixer and I tend to be an island. And I
mm,
realized this past Sunday um, that I had been doing church wrong for 26 years because I am an island and because I need to fix myself. I don't invite people to come in and help me fix things because
right.
I'm type A. I am a leader. I can do this myself. And being in leadership and being, the head of this company, sometimes I feel like it's my job. I need to fix it, and if I don't, then I am a weaker leader. And I realized on Sunday, as I walked away from my new church family, that the responsibility in my past church attendance falls on me because I did not open myself up for my team, for my tribe, for my people. I didn't open myself up and allow that. And for
Mhm.
some reason, I don't know if it's because I turned 48 this year, and maybe it happens when you turn 48, the realization that you need people and you need your tribe in your life. We hit along with Glock, we hit a very big, scary health thing in our family this week. And I realized for the first time in my life, I have a tribe to ask
Mhm.
for help. And I contacted my church. I contacted the people that I knew. And I have never experienced a family and a tribe like this before in my life. And so for me, I was wrong. I was doing this thing wrong, which possibly could have been why I was 250 pounds because I was
Yeah.
trying to do it all myself. And um, that could have been the reason why I struggled with my weight. I didn't allow my
Yeah.
tribe in. And so
Right.
if I was a bossy sister, like I am, I would say, Darcy, don't allow that to happen. Do not allow the I can fix it myself to enter, and to be your coach in life because you need your church, you need your people. And if there's somebody out there who's
Yeah.
struggling and doesn't have that in their church family, I mean, Darcy and I don't apologize. We're people of faith, and that's where we draw our strength and our life from. But if you're one of those people, do the scary thing. Do the scary thing and join a group. And maybe you'll have to try it a couple of times. Maybe you'll have to find a different, not all tribes are for you. But if you don't do your part in saying, I'm going to be vulnerable enough to do the scary things, to invite people into my life that may hurt me, you may get hurt. Church hurt is the number one reason why people don't go. It's a risk, but take it from me this week. Do the risk. It is so worth it. You need people in your life. And like Darcy said, we have a weight loss group of tribe of people. And those people who come to group every Monday night, those are the ones who are changing their life. The ones who try to fix themselves and don't show up to group, those are the people who fall off the wagon.
Right. You're so true. Sorry, I'm noticing I'm having some internet issues
Oh,
already. So,
we don't notice it on
uh,
this side. So you're good.
cool. Well, the next thing you kind of pinpointed a bit of the next one, which is, we talked about the circle of control, or it's also
Mm-hmm.
called the locus of control.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where as you step out of your box, as you step out and look at the situation as a whole, you got to go through the list of things based on what you are capable of controlling,
Yeah.
what is affecting you, what you can help influence, and then the things that are out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
And so that brings me to the point of the importance of journaling it out, because you can't necessarily do this in your head. I mean, you could try to do this in your head,
Mm-hmm.
but it's great to get these things, these ideas, these struggles outside of the mind, because I
Right.
used it as an example of kid slime, and how the kid slime, as it's being played with constantly, you have like this, when it's freshly made, it's nice, clean,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, goopy, and then as the kid plays with it and plops it on different surfaces, it's starting to pull in more garbage, and
Yeah.
as it pulls in more garbage, it looks disgusting.
Yeah.
It starts to not be like it used to. So
Yeah.
just
Darcy,
being
Darcy, let me
just
for our audience, let me give them a picture, and then I want you to continue that thought. So when Darcy says locus of control, I think of the cicada emergence that's happening right now in southern Indiana. With all those cicadas. That's what I think of when I hear locus of control. But the circle of control, the circle of influence. If you would imagine, I'm a Second Amendment girl. I love target shooting, right? So if you imagine the bullseye, the target, and the inside target bull's head, that if you think of those layers of circles, the circle of control is that bullseye. It is the center circle. Those are the things that you have control over, that you can change. You can physically change. Darcy, can you think of something that's in the circle of control? Like,
yes.
what is
It's
something in that
the things
circle?
the things that you think,
Things you think. Yeah.
the things you think,
The things
the
you think.
things that your own personal actions,
Your
the
actions
things that you choose to do, the things that you choose to say,
to put in your mouth.
your feelings,
Mm-hmm.
those the things that you put in your mouth, things like that. Yeah.
I have control over that. And I don't know if it's because I'm a strong woman, but I find a little bit of power in that circle of control. Like, I can't control anything else, but I can control what I put in my mouth. And so we have our clients go right there. What can you control? I can control whether I go into that kitchen or not and take a bite of the Pop Tart. I can control that, right? A little bit of power in that. Second influence, the second ring is your circle of influence. Those are things that you may have the opportunity to share. This is where Facebook comes in. This is where social media comes in. I can tell you my opinion about something, and maybe perhaps it might influence you. So the circle of influence, you have less control, but you still have a finger in it, right? You still can touch it. The outside layer are the things we have zero control over that I'm going to tell you I try to control. Those are things like politicians, the weather, the space launching, what are some more things we don't have control over? We don't have control over things, but
Most everything else.
most everything.
Let's be honest.
But that's where we live our lives.
Yeah.
That's when we want to lose weight and we want to get into this thing and live this lifestyle. That's the thing that we try to control, and we have zero control over it. So Darcy, what do we do? That's when your journaling comes in. That's when I just wanted to give them a picture of that target in the circle of control versus the things we have no control over. So that's when you take your activity, your journaling.
Yes. So that's where you take the journaling in and you get it out of your head. That's the things that you can do in those journals. Why not draw the target and draw those things in that journal? Why not, write about those feelings that you're having and the situation that it's causing? Like I advocate for journaling 100%, because again, your head that used to be that beautiful, clean slime that was created is now mucky and gross, and could be like a tumbleweed. Like that's
Right.
where maybe the bird's nest wants to lay its eggs, because it's so messy and
Right.
and crumbled up. So
we talk about the red dog, Darcy, the red dog, and the factor of, all of us has a red dog that's talking to us. Some people explain it like a demon versus an angel. We call it the red dog. The red dog can speak in your mind, but what he can't do is when you put it in writing and you see it for what it is, he can't translate that. He can tell you all those things in your mind of what you're really feeling, of the fact that you're no good, the fact that you messed up on your journey again. he is very noisy in your head, but when you put it out, like Darcy said, when you put it out on paper, he's like, oh crap, because now I've been exposed. Because now she can process what is real and what is not, right?
Mhm.
So important.
And
And
that's
it's
when
annoying.
that's
You annoy our clients when you talk about that, by the way.
I do.
You do. It's so good
I
though.
have people, pat me on the back though later. But that's when after the circle of control, that is where you can always circle back to the front. As you are writing things out, you are then able to then step back again
Mm-hmm.
and see what you have been writing and
Mm-hmm.
then just add on to that. But one thing that we also like to do, if if we know that our client is a person of faith, or
Mm-hmm.
Monica and I are people of faith, we always, when we go to that middle circle of control, we know that in that case, when there's your hands are just like empty and you don't know what else to do, that's where we go to our prayer, and that's
Mm-hmm.
where we ask for peace, and that's where you can take action with going outside and just stepping away from situation that is causing you clutter in your head, and you are just moving to another room, going outside.
Mm-hmm.
You can just take that moment to just ask for peace,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's basically you handing your problems, you handing all those mental issues, emotions, things that you're going through to the higher power,
Mm-hmm.
our God.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that
And I
is, go ahead.
this week I was thinking about, as you were talking to our group this week about this very thing. I woke up at about 2 a.m. a couple nights ago with just a deep burden for family members that are really, really struggling right now. And I was to the point where I had nothing. Like, my mind could not fix this, cannot fix this. It's completely out of my control. And when I went to pray, and when I went to, take it before uh, my God, I had nothing. And that's when I had nothing in my head. But when I started writing, whole different ball game came out of my head, because
Mhm.
I don't know, I'm sure there's science behind that, but the journaling, getting it out of your head, because when it's in your head, it's all mushed together. When you
Yeah.
write it out, sometimes it looks mushy too, but you can at least say, okay, here's the reality. This is what this is clear to me. So it
Hmm.
works.
Yeah, it does. So basically, you have to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
In when you are in an emotional state, sometimes, I mean, for me, I always have to go through the bad habit before I can, go to the thing that I've been working on, to when those things start to occur. I write to-do lists if I am
Mm-hmm.
feeling overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be something, sad and emotional like Monica's going through right now. It could just be the clutter in your house.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the things that your kids are doing that's driving you crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So the things that you add on to your list every single day that you shouldn't add to your calendar because you're already packed full of things, to add some more things on there. Well, why not? Well, because it's causing you that anxiousness. It's
Mm-hmm.
causing your mind to be overwhelmed, which then is, we talk about the negative thing, the consequences. What
Mm-hmm.
are the consequences that could happen if you don't address these things?
Right.
That's when you utilize your journaling
Mm-hmm.
to talk about, okay, what are the consequences? Like, I've identified my emotions. I'm just going to talk a little life coaching here
Mm-hmm.
for a second, but let me look at it. So you identify your emotions. Sorry, I'm going to bring my book right here because I'm not going to
That's
say it
good.
right. You identify what it is, what's causing this
Mm-hmm.
emotion, and then you're going to know what to expect from that by the list of things that follow that, and
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to know, okay, by all of these things, what are the consequences of if I
Mm-hmm.
stay in this emotion, or if I
Mm-hmm.
stay here where I am and not work on
Mm-hmm.
this it could be a repeat offense too. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
could constantly be going to, like, for example, my boys, they're in a phase of a love hate relationship right now, and they fight nonstop, and then they love each other nonstop, and then they fight, and that just does a lot to a mom. It makes you tense, it makes you
Mm-hmm.
overwhelmed, and then my response is not always beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm being proactive and utilizing these things. So you're not going to fix yourself right away. That's what
Mm-hmm.
where I'm going with this. You're not going to fix yourself right away as long as you are focusing on that 1%. 1% of improvement
Mm-hmm.
towards that emotion, towards how you respond to things,
Yeah.
that is going to help you clear up and give you a little bit more peace in your heart, and remind you of all of these actions to take play.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Oh.
biggest thing I want to say before you come in is just, Monica talks about community. Building a trustworthy community is going to
Mm-hmm.
be a priority,
Mm-hmm.
because without that community, you're in it by yourself. You're going to
Yeah.
stay on the island. There's no way getting off that island.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as hard as it is and how much you want to hold on to, not trusting people,
Yeah.
sometimes, you got to take that plunge.
Yeah. Yeah. And when it comes to diet, because that's what we're about, right? We're
Yeah.
about health. When it comes to diet, we teach our clients the difference between mindless and mindful. It is just absolutely astounding how many times we get ourselves into a space where we are having all of these feelings and we go into this mindless eating where we don't even know how we ate a bag of chips. We don't know how it happened. We just went into this state of mindlessness. And when we do these things that we're talking about, when we're changing who we think of us, it automatically sends us into a state of mindfulness. And when we are mindful, we can realistically do exactly what Darcy says. We can put on paper, okay, I am thinking about this. This is causing me to want to do this. It's causing me to want to go to the kitchen. When I hit a state of stress, like I'm living right now, I found that the first thing I wanted to do, and some people are opposite, some people can't eat at all. And so you may have to work this into your lifestyle because you will have to face this mindlessness, but it may not come when it comes for some people. For me, when I get a phone call or when I get a piece of news, it sends me directly, and my point of pain is peanut butter, right? Sends me directly to the kitchen, and I take out a spoon, and I caught myself doing it. Like in the middle of the stress, I caught myself with peanut butter on my spoon, and I'm like, wow, this is why I'm feeling this way. This is what's happening. And my old lifestyle would have been to put it in my mouth. My new lifestyle is to say, okay, what do I have control over here? Get the circle of control out of what do I have? I have zero control over my adult children right now. I have zero control. I have influence. I have zero control. I have zero control that my Great Dane is getting ready to breathe his last. Zero control over that. Mm-hmm. So what do I have control over? I have control over if I go out to the kitchen or not. I have control. Now, that's not saying that I'm not going to take a bite, okay? But I'm no longer going to take a bite and realize I don't know how that got in my mouth. I'm going to go through a series of processes to say, okay, is this the result I want? Is this taking me to my goal or taking me away from my goal? When you stop and slow down your thought processes by 30 seconds, you can come out with a completely different result. This is when healing begins. This is why it is no longer okay to only do this first level that we talked about of behavioral control. It's no longer okay to just do that. You have to bring in the tools that Darcy is talking about, the tools that we're talking about, mindless eating versus mindful eating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not saying we're not going to not ever have that peanut butter. It's saying I'm going to think it through first, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So this is something that we weekly train our clients to do, and we talk through it, and we will listen to our clients as they tell us, oh my gosh, I completely messed up this week. I'm a failure. They try to bring on the negativity, and we're like, well, first of all, we're not talking about the failure part. We will, but we're going to go back a couple of steps before that and talk about how do we put mindfulness back into your journey. Mm-hmm. Mindfulness changes everything, completely everything.
That's right.
How are you doing, Coach?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
Take a couple breaths.
I did wanted to add one more, that we tend to like to do. And this is before the storm comes, is always practicing gratitude every single morning. Yeah. And that is, again, writing it down in a journal. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know what to write, and that's why I get a lot of fight on journaling, because for one, you have to take time to do it. Yeah. And people don't have time, apparently.
Right.
But maybe it means to get yourself up a half an hour earlier than what you would normally wake up, to take that time for yourself and to talk about in your journal things that you are thankful for, that you are blessed with, however you want to take it. And it could be as simple as, man, I'm glad I got to open a fresh thing of toothpaste this morning. So just random things that you are grateful for is that vitamin, I know, but like Ben Azadi talks about
Yeah.
vitamin G.
Do you want to
And
know
I
what I'm
love that.
grateful for? Do you want to know what I'm grateful for today?
What do you think?
I'm grateful for the Ninja Creamy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
Did
gosh,
you
you
say
all.
if you used it yet?
Yes, it's in there. And
You
as
did
soon as
use
this
it?
podcast is over, I am so going. So, ice
That's
cream.
a turnaround.
I miss ice cream. I found a way that we can have it without the crap. And there are better versions of ice cream. Like we always sent our clients to go get Rebel, but there's still crap in there, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the Ninja Creamy might change your life. It just might. You get it on Amazon. I got a link. I'll share it with you. But oh my gosh, I'm grateful for
Yeah.
that today because I feel like I'm gonna
Awesome.
need it. I feel like I'm gonna need it.
I'm grateful for conversations like this, and I may not be very grateful for all the products that you push my way, but Mark is not grateful for that either. But it's good.
He will be when you make him ice cream.
I know, and it's summertime, and I love sorbet, so sorbet would probably be a good go-to.
I may or may not have slipped
treat,
the
sure.
link into the show notes.
Yeah.
I may have put it in there. I'm sorry, but oh my goodness.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. I did miss ice cream, especially coming into summer, and you can make it with whole ingredients like heavy cream, protein. You can put 55 grams of protein in ice cream. So it can be, after you work out, it can be your protein shake, but it's ice cream.
That'd be good. Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with it.
No, I can't. Really, I haven't found anything wrong with it.
And if you want to learn how
to learn how to do it right and make like soft serve, go to TikTok. And I know that's controversial, but that's where I found this whole world of creaminess, and you're not even going off plan, zero going off plan. So yeah, I'm thankful for that. That made my day today.
Yeah. Well, hey, this is a short show, but it was a heavy one.
Short.
So
it's heavy, guys. Listen, we want you to know it's not a matter of if you go through seasons. It's not a matter. Coach Darcy is holding me up right now, right? There's going to be a time that I'm going to have to hold her up. It's not a matter of if you go through these seasons. It's a matter of when. And this Craig Rochelle in this book says this: to change what you do, you first need to change what you think of you. And he backs it up biblically with Romans 12:2 that says, let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. If we can change the way we think, your health journey is going to go so much more smoothly. It's going to, you're still going to go through it. We're not exempt from these times, but we don't have to fall off plan. We don't have to reverse. That's why we go through the diet circle, because we haven't figured out how to control these emotions and how to walk through this thing without falling off plan.
Yeah. Coach, I think it's important. I was going to say, it's important for us to find that truth about ourselves and our worth. And we don't have that. I love that quote. And I was telling Monica that all he had to do was put that quote in a book, and boom, that was like mic drop right there.
Exactly.
But often we have such negative thoughts about ourselves. We don't love who we are, but we can change that. God did not make a mistake. You are not a mistake. You are made here for a reason. Yeah. And I mean, I wholeheartedly believe that. We can easily change our mindset and believe that, well, we're not like these other people that are absolutely loved. Well, that needs to change. Yeah. That mindset needs to change.
Deep down to the core. And this is why, and I'm going to get on the soapbox again. This is why we hate what's happening with the weight loss shots right now. Because you are not healing. You are not getting to the root of the problem. You're not fixing these things as they come up. This is why we believe in whole body healing, body, mind, and spirit. When one of those is sick, they share each other's diseases. And this is why we have a diet culture right now and diets that don't work, because we're not willing to heal. We don't want to be in pain. And that's why I hate those, because yeah, the weight comes off, but you're not doing the pain work. And unless you do the pain work, coming from a coach, Darcy and myself, who have maintained our weight loss for 7 years, it is hard on the side. It is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And that healing does not stop when you hit that magical number on the scale. You got to heal body, mind, and spirit. And this is part of it. Walking through these dark seasons. This is why we did not cancel the show today. And let me tell you, I didn't want to do the show today. I did not, because I'm a very proud person and I do not cry in front of people. I will bite my tongue until it bleeds before I cry in front of people. But this is why we do it, because this is real life.
Mm-hmm.
This is real. This is real as it gets. So
absolutely.
If you wouldn't mind, will you pray for us at 3 o'clock today? We have an appointment at the vet, and I don't know when to make the call. I don't know. I don't want to do it too soon, but today at 3, we have to make that trip to the vet. So
yeah,
it's going to be, pray for my family right now.
Will do.
All right, guys, we are here every Tuesday morning at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, if you have not found our podcast, make sure you find it, and go ahead, Coach Darcy.
I'm just showing a viewer what book you're talking about.
Yes. Incredible
keep
book.
Going.
By the way, if you're a client of ours, this will be new required curriculum. We're going to start going through that in our group sessions every Monday. So get the book if you have not already done so.
Yeah.
But yeah. If you have not found us on podcast, it has blown up. People are finding it. It's exciting. When Coach Darcy and I have the same weather, we can actually create a successful podcast. So if you
I'm just gonna have to move.
Oh, I know. But find us on Apple, on Spotify, whatever software. And if you wouldn't mind, I don't understand algorithms, but if you wouldn't mind leaving us a review, supposedly that's what pushes our algorithm so people can hear us. So that'd be great if you could do that. But we will be back here next Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have a topic you want us to cover, please send it to us. We are open. If we don't know it, we'll find out, or we'll bring a guest host on. I booked our first guest host for a podcast.
That's exciting.
Christine is going to be joining us. She's a passionate warrior as well, and she also writes books. So it's going to be fun to have. We got to figure out the whole guest thing and how that works. So
that might take time. We still have a marriage one that we need to do too. So that's going to be fun. I'm ready for that one.
I am ready. Let me get over this season, and then we'll tackle the marriage and weight loss. So, guys, we're going to close the show a little bit differently. This was not a season or a show that was good for a commercial, but we do want you to find our free Facebook groups, because we do have free coaching in there. So we want to make sure you have that tool. So we're going to sign out with that this morning. But please let us know if we can help you in any way. Coach Darcy and I walked where you're walking, and we know what you're feeling right now. Yeah. And so we'd be happy to walk you through your journey. All right, Coach, thanks for joining us this morning. Thanks for holding it together for us.
You too.
We'll see you next week, everyone.
Bye.
Hey, it's Coach Monica here. Guess what? If you're fed up with feeling stuck in your battle with weight or food, I've got something just for you. Check out our free Facebook groups. Over at Food Addiction and Recovery, I'm over there waiting for you. We're going to walk this journey together. It's about getting real, sharing our stories, and lifting each other up. We're in this together every step of the way. And if you're curious about changing your life with keto, the Weight Loss Project is where you want to be. Coach Darcy is amazing. And together, we're not just talking about losing weight. We're talking about finding a happier, healthier you. So, what do you say? Are you ready to join us? The links are in the show notes below, and I'm telling you, this is more than an invite. It is the start of something great. We cannot wait to see you over there.